Good evening and welcome to this night's episode of Autism Talking. I'm your host, Sebastian Flyer. Today I want to tell you about a child, not a famous child, not a special story that makes headlines. Just an ordinary day in an ordinary life. At least that's what it looks like from the outside. Morning begins quietly. The house is still. The sun is only just beginning to reach through the window. For most people, waking up is simple. You stretch, open your eyes, maybe think about breakfast, and then what the day will bring on. But for this child, morning begins with signals. The light through the window is sharp, not warm and gentle, sharp. The bed sheet feels wrong today, too rough maybe. Or maybe it's a seam that suddenly feels like a tiny rope pressing on the skin. The heater clicks somewhere in the house. A small sound for you. Most people would never notice it. But the child hears it clearly. Every sound is clear. Every detail arrives. The day has started, and already the brain is busy sorting the world. Now it's time to get dressed. Most people never think about getting dressed, it just happens. But this child stands there for a moment, holding a shirt. The fabric matters. Some fabrics feel soft, some feels like tiny needles. And there might be a tag at the back of the neck, a tiny square of cloth that scratches with every moment. Then trying to find the correct hole to put your arms and head through. What is front? What is back that everyone is talking about? But the child never learns what front and back is. Socks can be worse. If the seams crosses the toes in the wrong way, it feels like a tight wire pressing across the foot all day. Shoes wrap up the feet like small cages. And all these things send signals to the brain. Pressure, texture, movement. Before breakfast even begins, the child has already solved 10 problems the rest of the world never noticed. In the kitchen, the smell of food fills the air. Toast in the toaster, eggs in a pan, coffee. For many people, these smells feel comforting. For the child, they arrive just all at once, all messed up. Warm air from the toaster, the smell of butter, the sound of a spoon tapping a plate, each one asking for attention, each one asking the brain to process it. Then chewing the food that vibrates in mouth, the texture on the tongue, the smell, even if it's the same every day. Then, once eating process is completed, next task, brushing teeth. The toothbrush presses against sensitive gums. The taste of the toothpaste fills the mouth. The sound of brushing echoes inside the head like a small machine. 2 minutes can feel very long, and the day hasn't even begun yet. The toothpaste is just weird. It's a taste, smell, sound it makes. It's like being in a rock concert. And 2 minutes are not 2 minutes. Then comes the uncertainty. Have I brushed the upper teeth, the inside, the outside, the lower teeth? And once the lower teeth are completed, uncertainty about have I done the upper teeth? I do it again to be sure. And the toothbrushing can take half an hour, 40 minutes, if it doesn't get help. Outside of the house, the world grows larger. Cars pass on the road, birds call from trees, a dog barks somewhere down the street. Wind moves through the leaves. For most people, these sounds blend together into the background. For the child, they remain separate, clear, precise, like dozens of lights switching on and off in the brain. At school, the lights are brighter. Fluorescent lights hum quietly above the classroom. For most people, for this child, they make an enormous sound, a humming sound that is so loud and disturbs everything. Chair scrapes against the floor. Children talk, laugh, move. Books open. Pencils tap. Someone coughs. A backpack zipper opens. The teacher begins speaking. And all of this arrives at the same time. Imagine trying to listen to one voice in a room where hundreds of radios are playing different stations. Now imagine trying to learn something new while that is happening. The child tries, really tries, but the brain is already working very, very hard just to understand the environment. And something else is happening too. The child is watching everyone, watching how other children sit, watching when they laugh, watching how they answer questions. There seems to be a rule book everyone else received, but this child never got a copy. So the child studies, copies, and adapts. Tries to become what others expect. Sometimes that means sitting very still when the body wants to move. Sometimes it means smiling when the world feels overwhelming. Sometimes it means hiding the parts of yourself that feel natural. This is something many autistic people learn very early, how to hide, how to blend in, how to appear normal. But hiding takes energy, a lot of energy. And the day continues. The signals keep arriving. Bright lights, moving people, voices calling names, instructions, questions, colors on walls, smells from the cafeteria, texture of chairs, clothing still touching the skin. Hour after hour, the brain keeps processing everything, storing it, sorting it, trying to keep up. When the school day ends, most people feel a little tired. The child feels something else. Like carrying a backpack full of invisible stones. The journey home isn't quiet. Stones glow with bright lights, carts roll across the floor, machines beep, people talk from every direction, music plays somewhere above. Each sound, another small stone in the backpack. By the time the child reaches home, the weight has grown heavy, and finally, in the open place that feels safer, the backpack opens. Sometimes the child becomes very quiet. Sometimes the child cries. Sometimes the storm inside the brain finally breaks free in what others call a meltdown. But this storm didn't appear suddenly. It was building all day, with every sound, every light, every demand, every smell, every effort to become someone the world might accept. And after the storm passes, something important remains. The child is still there, curious, thoughtful, observing details others miss. Not broken, not wrong, just living in a world that was not designed for the way their brain works. So the next time you see a child struggling, or a child who seems overwhelmed, or a child who reacts strongly to things others barely notice, remember this story, because what looks like a small moment on the outside may be the final drop in a very, very full cup. And if this story feels familiar to you, if somewhere in these words you recognize yourself, then I want to say something important. If this is you, you are perfectly okay. And I hope you understand your life a little better. This is real life of autism. Thank you for listening, and good night, wherever you are.